Now we review the 2024 film Brain Tumor. That's a film, that's not just a thing I have. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Random Street Theater. I am Richard. Yes, I do have a sunburn. And there's a fly in here. You're going to see a lot of my videos that have flies in here because I watched a bunch of movies on an extended shift and need to review them all. Fly. Anyway, so Brain Tumor is a... before I get any further, let me remind you that 3,000 subscribers, I got to do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. I also virtually adopt, or symbolically adopt animals from the WWF, World Wildlife Fund, and I plant trees through the Conqueror. If you support this channel or me in any way, shape, or form, you are doing your part for a better world. Now, Brain Tumor is a comedy horror film. It is very much a well-done, independent backyard film. I mean, it's like, look, independent films can have million-dollar budgets and big-name stars in them nowadays. This appears to be a backyard film with actors you would not see in any major Hollywood productions, at least not yet. And it is very basic in its nature. It is akin to Troma Studios, if you are aware of them. So it's kind of the same sort of production style as The Toxic Avenger or Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. And, you know, it is not super bloody like those films are. There is no nudity, but it is a well-done film. It is the story of a community. There is a psychotic doctor. He removes a tumor. That tumor becomes a teratoma or monster tumor, and the monster tumor runs amok, and they have to deal with the monster tumor. And, you know, again, the tumor itself, you would never look at that thing and be like, okay, I'm afraid of that. But it is something that would very much be in place in like a Halloween horror maze, you know, with its bulbous eye and moving mouth. It is a reasonably well done piece of comedy horror cinema. It is not a terrible thing. Now there is a joke about somebody killing somebody's cat in here, which I very much disliked. You know, that's one of those things that does bother me. Casual violence against animals is not funny. It's just, that's me. You know, I understand other people find casual violence against animals very funny. And it can be funny if done properly. But it's just something that I don't laugh at anything. You know, let's be clear. I didn't laugh a lot during this movie, but I don't laugh at anything. Other people certainly would laugh at this movie. And, you know, when you look at it, the characters are just absolutely bizarre. You know, the main character is Dr. Caligari. This is a throwback to the cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I always thought it was pronounced different, but they pronounce it Caligari in here. And there are probably other film references. The two largest female characters are fun to watch. There's one that, she's very, very pretty. Runs around in a bikini much of the time. Doesn't get any more stripped than that. And I mean, this is a horror movie, but it's not a Freudian horror film. Although there are elements that could be applied to Freud. This is not a film where a sexually frustrated character is penetrating other characters with a phallus, like, you know, Friday the 13th. This is a creature feature film where you have a monster. And yes, often the monster does represent our sexuality in films and our sexual frustrations in film. And the monster is often us unleashed. I don't really believe this film goes that deep, but you could interpret it that way if you wanted to. You know, all in all, this is a fun movie, and it is meant to be a fun movie. It is not meant to be an incredible movie, but it is very much a fun movie. And I love running into these, you know, independent films. They're made with heart and strength and will. But I will say that given the set pieces in this movie, it looks like the people in this movie may have just had the money to make a movie, and they may have made it just for the heck of it. I didn't look too far into it, but, this was a fine idea. It is an enjoyable film. It belongs in the upper middle of your watch list, maybe, just above the middle, because it's not got a lot of super special effects, and you kind of have to be into horror creature features to enjoy this, but it certainly does deserve to be there. Brain Tumor is a solid enough film. It is thoroughly enjoyable if you're lighthearted and want to feel like a 14-year-old again, and Lord knows I do. So, yes, thumbs up, enjoyable film, definitely worth a watch if you can find it.
Randall the Rat here, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. And why should you do that? Well, look over here. These are bracelets from 4Ocean. Each one of them means a pound of trash was pulled out of the ocean. And this channel buys one for every 1,000 subscribers it gets. And this around my neck, well, this is a medal from the Conqueror. It represents walking around the Great Pyramids of Giza. You can get one for yourself by going to the Conqueror challenges.com and saying, hey, I want to pretend I walked around the pyramids of Giza without dealing with all the sweat and flies and delicious scarab beetles. Or you could support this channel so they can buy more of these, which means that they will plant trees, because each one of these represents 5 trees that got planted. Yeah, that's right, 5 trees, helping your environment. Global warming sucks. Be a good person, comment, like, and subscribe. Give us more money so that we can plant trees by buying medals from the Conqueror. Randall out.